After reading the Maina Awa in the Orlinda book, one of the main take, notice I did say one of, not only, but one of the main gist of the matter is water is sacred, for without it, plants, animals, and people would not exist. In the so-called United States of America, we're going through a time when the government has been taken over by vampires of the soul. And the main objective of these vampires is to isolate us, or in other words, that terrible isolation and slavery. Yeza did not teach isolation and slavery, but on the contrary, he taught that beautiful principle of, quote, community and freedom, end of quote. And so I appreciate the main gist of the matter of the Maina Awa, for it teaches us that water is even, and that evenness of water is necessary for us to put into power those so-called laws or rules and regulations that must be equal with the necessity, the evenness of water. For we all need water. We all need the community and freedom of the Maina Awa. For without it, we fall into the trap of isolation and slavery. So I thank God for showing us the sacredness, the importance, the proper respect to that sacred quality and evenness of water. My eyes are bluey. I can no longer read print on paper, so it makes it more difficult for me to give this monologue. So pardon my time to pause to read my mental outline. And I don't think there is a better mental outline which follows that natural order of the self-sustaining natural world we call nature. Nature is not in a hurry, so I have learned from listening to the wise ones, the wisdom of the Freya-born, to relax, take our time, and don't be in a hurry. When we observed the world around us, and we take notice of the cycles of life, it behooves us to not to go faster than nature, which moves in a somewhat soothing, relaxing, not in a hurry, taking its time. Here in America, the so-called mass media, what I call the artificial news or the fake news, whatever you want to call it, and also the artificial education system, wants us all to be in a mad dash to serve the dollar. Well, the current dollar system that we live under in America is that of a life that is always in a hurry, trying to stay ahead of this artificial debt that the so-called almighty dollar has injected its poison. It's like being bit by a venomous snake. And when people's minds are in a state of darkness, or in the words in the Orlinda book, that which is Finsternis von Geist. And rather than trust in that beautiful, relaxing movement of all life pertaining to plants, animals, and people, to Wyralda, and if we take our time to allow the seed of freedom to be planted in our body, heart, mind, and soul, and not be in a hurry, we learn that Wyralda is not in a hurry. And so I go back to pointing out that here in America, nearly everybody is running wide open, serving the currency of isolation and slavery, the so-called Federal Reserve note called the dollar. Sadly so, we live in a time when people will do anything for the dollar. One of the things that I have learned to admire about the Orlinda book and the Mena Awa and the importance of observing Freya text is this. It did my heart good to notice that the forest is important and that we must have a community that honors the forester, keeping an eye on the forest to protect that which is sacred. For we all need the good that comes from that plant life that holds a lot of water. And currently where I live, people are paid to completely destroy the forest, to destroy the rivers, or in the words of the Orlinda, I like the phrase, run stream. Let's see if I can roll my R right. Run streamer. My teeth are broken, so it's kind of hard for me to do that one. And running water is life. Still water in an environment such as a man-made pond or some of the mega dams that stop the flow of water and create a body of water that just sits still, stagnant, and it's not alive anymore. It becomes polluted and you can't drink it. That is showing disrespect to water. And likewise with the forest, the boma. One of the meanings of the little word be and another little word o put together is a body of water. Our body begins with bo. It holds water. The boma holds water. And when a society has fallen into isolation and slavery, and they follow that isolation of filling their pocketbook full of gold and silver, that which is sadly the self-serving individuals who have lost their sense of community and freedom. There's a lot to be said. There's a lot of good take upon reading the Maina Awa. And I would like to again point out so that we will not forget that we must learn to, when reading the Maina Awa, we must learn to relax, take our time, and don't be in a hurry. I heard a wise man say lately that he noticed there are two kinds of people on the planet. There are people who think that they are God, and then there are people who know they are not God. And that's another gist of the matter when we study the Maina Awa and the core heart of the Oralenda book, is that we are not God. And that we must not fall for the trap of having that mindset, being high-headed, and individuals who think that they are necessary for others to live. Or in other words, the so-called golden billion. They think that they are the gods of the world, the rulers of the world. They think that we, the people, need them, but we don't. On the contrary, no one needs the golden billion. All they have is stolen goods. They're pirates. And we do not need a pirate to have the goods that Waralda gives us. So maybe it would be good to end this monologue by saying something that would benefit all of us. those who truly are in body, heart, mind, and soul, Freya born, that we promote the Mena Awa, that common goodness of community and freedom. For it's impossible to have freedom in isolation. So let's cast off that individualistic, isolated mindset of slavery, and let us put on and plant in our heart that beautiful teaching of brotherly love, the love of family, the love of fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters, the love of our neighbor. A community of freedom that allows us to experience the ultimate joy and happiness of serving one another, wishing the high energy that life-giving magnetic waveform that puts a smile on our face, that causes us to dance with joy, to sing with joy, to work with joy. Work is not a drudgery. Slavery is a drudgery. But real work, when we work with the will von Wierwalde planted in us, we gladly serve and help one another. And one of the teachings of Yeza of Kashmir is to honor the mother, for she is the bearer of life, the bearer of the creation. As a father, in reading the Orlinda book, we learn to pay the highest respect to the mother of freedom, Freya. And so I would like to encourage all of us to take a stand for community and freedom. I would like to encourage everyone who has already read Freya Tech, the Mena Awa, the book of Adela's follower, to read it again and to allow that wonderful bliss, that blessed ship, the blessed fellowship of community and freedom to take hold in us. And therein the world will be beautiful. I look forward to the coming new world. So it gives me satisfaction to know that the current state of affairs here in America is not eternal. That the reign of the pirates and the ravage of the vampires is coming to an end. I like to say that the day of the vampire ball is over, is coming to an end. And that spark, that fire, that Logaha von Heraldus Geist, Logaha von Freya, is now here. And the unnatural world cannot extinguish that fire, that beautiful glow. To you, my brothers and sisters, who have taken the time to relax, to listen to my slow, methodical thoughts, that we will work together with joy, with happiness, that we will lift one another to do good. I like that word in the Frisian tongue, lifta. And to me, one of the take of that is we love to lift another, to lift one another up, to do good. There's much more I can say. So I say with gladness and joy, the time of freedom is now. The time of community is now. The time of the Mena Awa is now. The time of Freya Tech is now. So this day, let's live in honor the mother of freedom, Freya, and the father of freedom, Herald.